Tell the truth. Put something false online, and it will eventually be revealed as an absolute lie. You get the crappy emails. I know you do. I get them. You know, ridiculous stuff that somebody pushes out and says, "Oh, well, now they've discovered that there are dinosaurs living under China at 1,000 feet." Right? And then you go on something like, Snopes.com or something. And go, "Oh no, this comes from this." Or President Obama is mad because he did not get invited to the royal wedding. Right? I got that one last week. It was on Fox News. My father sent it to me. All right, so you go and you look up and you go, well, no, he's not been invited, but there's nothing that's been put out there about their being angry or upset about it or anything else. But those lies get found out very quickly. If you post a lie, you'll be found out because there's lots of things available to do the research. So don't post stupid stuff. Don't make things up. Don't claim content that's not yours. True digital is incredible. Because if we operate in truth online, then ideas get shared quickly and solutions get found more quickly. If we're doctors and we were working to come up with a medical solution for cancer, what we want to do with the digital boards and everything else that we share information on, we want to be as detailed as we can be and as accurate as we can be. So that one person can take that clue out of the truth that we found and find a solution. As opposed to trying to self-protect or make ourselves seem so smart or say, I came up with. Because if you didn't come up with it, you'll be found out very quickly that you didn't come up with it. Everything's on timelines, everything has history, and everything connects. So, speaking of digital, I just had a call come in and it disconnected me. What's that? Openness. Digital media was created for sharing. It demands openness. However, we often exploit the openness of others or exploit ourselves. We must promote sharing over stealing to promote openness without succumbing to selfishness. This takes me back along the lines of what I was talking about with musical content or philosophy or discovery or science or even industrial changes and things that are learned and nuances that we're able to add in. If we steal those ideas instead of share those ideas, it's destructive. It's not helpful. And digital is easy to rip. It's easy to take the content and put it on a disk and go share it with somebody when it's not yours to share. Not yours, or I should say it's not yours to steal because you're really not sharing it, you're stealing it. I could easily go online and I could find something to answer all the questions that are within Rushkoff's book and not give him any credit for it whatsoever. I can stand in front of you and claim it's my content because it's easy to find. I can find a PowerPoint for just about anything in the world online. But you have to cite your sources. You have to give credit where credit is due. Because these people work hard, just like you work hard every day. So stealing the content is not right. Ripping the CD is wrong. Stealing the quote is wrong. Give credit where credit is due. Real stuff is in short supply. As Solomon said, thousands of years ago, there's nothing new under the sun. Original ideas, very hard to come by. So they should be honored, and they should be shared. They should not be stolen. But digital makes it easy to steal. Purpose. Program or be programmed. In a digital age, we must learn how to make the software or we risk becoming the software. And when I say we must be making the software, I mean we have to have influence on the software and the things that we utilize, not just accept what it does. When you're working through your daily processes in business, don't just accept that the system does that. If you think there's a better way, understand why it's doing what it's doing, what those processes are, what it causes to execute next, and come up with a better plan as to what exists. Don't just say, I answer these questions in this order, and that's just the way they've made it, so I've got to go with it. If rearranging the questions brings speed, if rearranging the questions brings enlightenment, then we should rearrange those things. But we have to consider those things. How we use the tool. Whether or not, many companies have banned BlackBerries and iPods from their company meetings. I say that's a great idea. Because I can tell you, when I'm sitting in a meeting, I'm distracted. Darren has distracted me 3 times through this conversation with you. Okay? Because I have a piece of digital media in my hand. Programming is the leverage point. Instead of learning what we do with the computer, we learn what it does. What does the internet do? What do these software do? What does the BlackBerry and the iPhone, what are they causing me to do? What are these apps all about? Someone trying to sell us something. Someone trying to use us. And those tools are sometimes helpful to us, but we've got to understand what their intent is. And then we need to be the creators of the apps. We need to be the creators of the concepts. We need to be the one having influence on the software that we utilize on a daily basis. We need to be the programmers. And it doesn't mean you got to learn the zeros and ones and know that 0, 1, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0 is an A. But you do have to know, within a program like Word that you're utilizing on a regular basis to make documents, how you possibly could influence and to make that piece of software even better and more effective. And those are the things we have to consider. Today's programs are depending on your disinterest. I find this a phenomenal thought. Pascal, who lived in the 1600s, I told you about him earlier. I just finished reading a compilation of his thoughts. It's called in French, Pensées, Thoughts. And so his family, after he died at 39 years of age, they compiled his thoughts, and it was his thoughts on theology is what his book is about. But here's a man who was an incredible mathematician. Matter of fact, when it comes to lost triangles and accounting triangles, Bill uses those every day. We have Pascal to thank for that. Pascal's father was a accountant, and Pascal created the first computer, the first calculator. It was moving dials, and the moving dials would be moved to come up with the answer so that the accountants would save time. And he did this for his father to try and help his father have more time. First creator of the computer, a mathematician, understood how math worked. That's how he was able to create the calculator. A scientist of exceptional order and understanding. A theologian at the same time with a deep faith. And he creates our first computer. And yet this guy also has a realization of society and how it works and how people work. And he tells us that for the ills of our life, for the troubles in our life, we as human beings have two ways of responding. We have two pseudo-solutions to the troubles of life. Diversion and indifference. As technology has developed, as digital has come along, we have a choice about the digital. We can be indifferent about it. We can say, oh, this is what it is, I guess I'll just use it. Or, well, management says this is software we're going to use, I guess I'll just figure out how to get this going. Or, well, this is what comes on the phone, so I guess I just have to set the way it is on the phone. No, I've got texting now, so I guess I got to respond to people right away. We're just indifferent. Or diversion. Sometimes we take the digital and we're completely diverted by it. Oh, Facebook, man, I'm going to spend hours on Facebook. It's cool. I feel like I'm having relationships with people. Twitter, ooh, I'm going to tweet away, man. Oh, look at all this stuff that's available to me. We get diverted away from the things that really matter. Diversion and indifference are our pseudo-solutions to the problems in life. Told to us by the man who created the first computer. A warning, I think, about where we are today if we're not careful. Because I believe avoidance is awful, which is basically indifference, and diversion is awful, where we just consume it and let it divert us into different parts of our lives away from the things that matter. We have to figure out how to control it and what it is and understand it so that we can utilize it, not it use us. And that's ultimately where we're trying to get through this book and what I think Rushkoff is trying to get us to think. Are you a part of the machine? Because if all you do is click the buttons or fill in the blanks, you are part of the machine. You are part of the tool. You are not creating the machine. You are not a creator. You are a user. If you just take the payment and you don't think about the process of the payment that is going through in order to get done, you are a part of the tool. You are not influencing the tool. If all you do is say, what's your credit card number, and you enter the credit card number, and don't think about the process that's happening and how you might improve that process, which is it's going to another third-party vendor, and the third-party vendor then goes and hits the bank that this person's information is giving you, and they say, okay, this is $250, but Bob has $300 in the bank account. Okay, I'm going to take $250 out, and I'm going to process it back through here, and I'm going to go send it over to this bank, and I'm going to deposit that money in that bank, and then I'm going to send you back notifications that says this has happened, and it's going on, and that it's okay. But if we don't think about that bigger process that's going on other than I click the button, why isn't the payment coming back?
You should click it 10 more times.
Right. Are you a part of the machine being programmed, or are you creating the machine? Are you the programmer? That's a big question. You'll have to decide which one of those you want to be. Appreciate you taking your personal time to come in here. I hope you've got a little bit of thought. I encourage you to read the book because he says it so much better than I can. So much better than I can.